Hey guys, David here with Northwest Outdoor Adventures, and today I'm going to be reviewing, or at least giving kind of my first impressions on the latest shoe from Altra for their Olympus line, the Ultra Olympus 4.0. That's what I currently got on my feet. As you can see, kind of a big boy. Yeah, so I got the red version there. Not too many color choices out really. And so yeah, let's just jump into my first kind of thoughts on the shoe. Of course, like I said, it is a big boy. It's Ultra's biggest shoe in terms of stack height. So what you'd expect to get out of this is kind of max comfort at the expense of a little bit more weight and a little bit more heft. So I used the 3.5, so I've used the previous iteration of this shoe before. Didn't really like it that much, a little too bulky for me, but this new version I'm actually liking quite a bit. So this one is a little bit lighter than that last version, and just the overall fit and feel of it seems to match my foot at least much better. So you'll see kind of, I'll give a close-up here of the upper, which is a little bit hard to tell with this red on red, but yeah, so this is all mesh now. And so that lends for a lot better breathability in my mind, or at least in my experience so far. These shoes drain pretty quickly. Not quite as quick as, like, say, the Temps or even Lone Peaks, at least from what I've seen. But overall, I really like them so far. So I've put about 100 miles on them, and that's kind of where I like to do my first kind of impressions. And so I'll do another video once I get to about 300 miles as like a full update or kind of a full review that'll go over some of the durability and things like that in more detail. But for now, the durability is really good. So no signs of wear and tear really at all on the whole shoe. So again, I've stopped a lot and showing you the shoes, but as you can see on the bottom, there really is like no wear or tear. And they've got not the most aggressive patterns. The lugs and stuff aren't the most aggressive, but they get the job done. Again, I mention it every video pretty much, but I live in the Pacific Northwest, so even though our summer's been relatively nice and beautiful, we have gotten some rain patches here and stuff, so I have had the opportunity to take them out on some more wet and slippery conditions. And as far as traction goes, I think it's just as good, if not better, than the previous generation. And as far as, you know, other shoes from Altra, I think it's pretty much in the same ballpark. So yeah, that's kind of the first impression here. I really like them. They're a little bit heavy for me. I feel like they do feel kind of, I don't know, girthy, hefty. They're big. I do feel that. They're not, I don't think they would be my go-to shoe necessarily, but right now they are, just because I don't have really any other pairs. Both the pairs of my Temps that I was using are torn up, and that's kind of been my go-to shoe forever. So I'm going to stick with these, probably ride them out for the next month or so until I get around that 300-ish mark for miles, and do a kind of a final review video on them at least. But yeah, I think overall they're a little bit heavy. Aside from that, I really like them. The price is outrageous. I think the MSRP is $170, so that's kind of the two downsides for this shoe. Is it's overpriced, it's a little bit heavy, so if you're looking for something kind of quick and snappy, don't get this shoe. But if you are looking for something that's comfy, you're not going to find a comfier shoe, I don't think. I mean, I can run on gravel that's, you know, over 1 inch in diameter, and it feels like you're running on dirt. So from that aspect, it's really nice, but the price is a little bit too much for me. And for a day-to-day shoe on the trails, if I'm not doing a really long outing, I don't think I would use these in the future. So that's my initial thoughts. I think, you know, if it's a 50-miler or something, or a shoe where I really need that kind of, I don't know, extra comfort, then maybe I would go with these. So a good example of that would be, you know, if I'm doing a 50 or 100-miler and it's kind of later in the race and my feet maybe have swollen up a bit, they're a little bit tender, I'd probably switch to these. So yeah, and I should have mentioned the sizing in the beginning of the video, but The sizing is pretty much standard with most other Ultras that have came out this year. I normally, like in my day shoes, I would wear a 10.5. I bought an 11.5, so full size up in these. You'd probably be okay with only doing a half size, but yeah, if you wear other Ultras and say, you know, like in the Timps, that's the same thing I do. Usually I get an 11.5 or an 11, excuse me. Normally I'll get a full size up in the Timps as opposed to a half size with the last couple models. So I'd recommend doing the same thing that you're doing with whatever other pairs of Ultras that you have. And if you haven't ever had Ultras before, I would say if you can't try them on, probably get a full size up, or at the very least a half size up. So hopefully that helps you. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the trails, because I know I am.